Okay, so you know we're gonna have a little fun.
Right, right.
How personal can we get?
Go for it. I mean, if you feel uncomfortable later, you can take it out, right?
Coffee or tea?
Coffee and strong.
Favorite song on your playlist?
Oh, easy. Jethro Tull, anything, probably Aqualung.
All right, what was your first job then?
First job, I was a busboy at a place called Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor, and I learned my love of ice cream right then.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't grown up, to be honest with you. No, really, as a little kid, I always wanted to be a writer.
Favorite Halloween candy?
Milky Way bars, automatic.
Window or aisle seat?
Always the aisle. I have to get out. Can't be trapped in there.
One thing you always pack when traveling?
Something for my hair so it stays like this. I can see this going downhill all the way. I'm Dennis Slater. I'm the president of AEM. I've been with the organization since May 10th of 1982. Before I came to AEM, I was a journalist. I was working for newspapers, and I just would go to those meetings and say, can't they get anything done? And I'm tired of going to these meetings, which is an irony because it's all I do today. And I went home and I said, I'm going to find a new job. So I went in the newspaper back in the day when you looked at papers, and there was a job for communications writer for some group that I never heard of, an association, which is now AEM. And so I applied for it, and 3 interviews later, I ended up with the job and became a PR writer with the organization. 3 years into it, the head of ConExpo left the company. And since I'd never been to ConExpo, I was highly qualified to run it. So I asked the boss if I could run ConExpo, and he laughed at me, and I went home all depressed. The next day he gave me the job. I was always one of these, like, how can you do this different? What can we do with this? So I would take something and try to rebuild it again. So I looked at ConExpo and said, you know, why is it every 6 years? Let's have it 3 years. Why doesn't it have other shows with it? Let's merge with ConA. Back in those days, ConExpo had 300 exhibitors. Today we're 2,500 exhibitors. The reason I sit here today as president is because of the growth of what ConExpo did. So I took over as like, okay, I have to be a leader now. I guess I'm supposed to lead, right? And the first thing I was like, who should I be like? In the end, I learned you should be yourself. You should lead like you are. So I think my style really is to always let people run their own thing. My goal is to hire really good, talented people like we do have, give ideas on where we should go, the direction, but in the end, they should take us there. I think the best thing Drucker once said is always play offense. You know, if you play defense, the best you can do is hold where you're at. But if you play offense, you can do better. And another part of it is always look to improve. I think a couple of things are very critical. You know, technology is a big part of that, but so is the government and regulations. I think AEM has to be that voice for the industry. You know, the companies alone can't do that because they can be demonized if they step out there for that self-interest. We can go out there and say, you know, manufacturing is important to our economy. Manufacturing is important to the economic well-being of this country. So there's a great message. Our job, I think, is to be that spokesperson and to deliver that and to say, this economy depends on this. So we have to be out there to talk about not only why it's important, but why is it a good career? You know, what can you do in this? The fact that a certified technician in this industry can make over $100,000. You know, the fact that if I'm an engineer, I can work on making these machines that do great things. You know, there's a lot going on in the industry we have going for it. So I think AEM is helping to pivot that discussion. And I think, first of all, for value of AEM is to be involved. So if you really want to be a difference maker in the industry and you really want to get benefit for your company, you have to engage in that. And in doing that, I think the big reward is you meet a lot of talented people out there. You meet your industry peers and you learn so much from them. And to be in that atmosphere, I think that's the biggest reward for them. So I think if you really want to get ahead in the world, you do what I did with ConExpo. I was underqualified. I shouldn't have got the job, but I convinced them I could do it. So I think it's to take that risk for the next big thing. Don't just settle on what you're doing. I think our whole philosophy at AEM is that. We take on big projects because we really believe we can do it. There's a rumor that I was here the whole 125 to start, okay? I have to tell you, I wasn't. 100 maybe, not 125. 125 more. I think you have to look at maybe 3 or 4 more first. But I just think we've got the critical mass of an organization. We've got this whole industry behind us. The talent comes with us. I think we shouldn't take it for granted, but we should always try to improve and always look and say, what's the next big thing we should be doing about it? It's not the easy way. You know, it's really hard to keep on doing that, but that's important. But my job has been 4 or 5 jobs along the way. It's changed every time, and it's always been a challenge. So I sit here after over 30 years saying, there's still a lot we can do. You know, you can see that next idea still there. I think we're just sort of coming into our own now.